Fix it. That's better. What's up, guys? Today we got the advanced demo course for combat engineers. So pretty much what we're going to be focused on is hasty demolitions, everything pertaining to that. This will qualify me to be no longer with the basic EOD badge, but it will step up to senior EOD, I believe it is. I'd have to check. We're gonna be kicking off here pretty shortly, actually. 7 o'clock start time. So we'll kick off. This will be a lot of classroom and a lot of practical at the same exact time, so it'll be bouncing back and forth. I did too, just upgrade. Actually, right before this class started, threw in my new graphics card, 5070 GeForce RTX, 12GB, and a Intel i9 processor. So hopefully, it should actually come out better gameplay-wise, as far as graphics and all that. So, be able to play around with that for the first time.
Pool days call for cookouts and lots of laundry. This Memorial Day at Lowe's, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances to keep dishes, clothes, and food fresh. Having fun in the sun is easy with us in your corner. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27, while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
Protein-packed meals in 10 minutes? TikTok's got millions of them. Could you whip one up in under 8? Probably.
Alright, looks like we are starting to get in now.
It's not a race. Grab the recipes on TikTok and start cooking.
Good news for your gas tank. Every day through May 17th, shop at BJ's Wholesale Club and get an extra 5 cents off a gallon on a same-day fill-up at BJ's Gas. Buy practically anything, any day, and save. That means on Monday, extra 5 cents off gas. Tuesday, extra 5 cents off gas. Wednesday, Thursday, yada yada right through Sunday, get 5 cents off a gallon of gas. Shop for what you want, when you want at BJ's to save on gas every day through May 17th. Visit bjs.com/gas promo for details.
Now, at McDonald's, wake up to a $4 breakfast meal deal. Wake up to a sausage McMuffin or a sausage biscuit, to hash browns, and wake up to a hot coffee. Get your $4 breakfast meal deal.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Should be kicking off any second now. Let me double check to make sure I didn't miss something. Nope. We're actually on time. So any second now should be should be kicking off. It could just be we're waiting on numbers quick because there were a few more that signed up. Well, it might just have a small class tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a very bad cough / cold right now, so I'll try to. If I start to get any fits or that, I'll try to mute myself before they kind of happen. I hear you talking, Mez, but nothing's coming through. Nope. You know what?
I can hear you just fine, Maz.
Oh, okay.
It was Discord.
Not me, it's Bolton.
Nah, it was Discord on my end. It changed it to the
there you go.
monitor on me. This is sweet. I
All right.
140 frames and I'm streaming.
Let's go.
The power of money to buy things.
Are you new to a PC?
No, I'm not new to it. I threw all the upgrades in right before this started.
Oh.
So
What's
That's the
your
only way
GPU
to
now?
be.
if something didn't work, I was not going to be here.
Yikes.
Yeah, what'd you get for your GPU?
GeForce. It was a 5070 GeForce RTX 12 gigabyte.
Oh, not too bad.
No.
The 5070 doesn't break the bank as much.
No, I upgraded from a 1660 GeForce.
Oh, okay,
TI.
yeah.
So this baby will get 6 years, just like the last one.
There you go.
The only thing I didn't upgrade was RAM because I'm not spending $1,000 for 2 sticks.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous
I know,
right now. It's crazy.
One of my bosses, he was talking to me about he wants to take this old computer. I forget specifically what it is, but it's the older not older computer. It's a newer computer, but it doesn't have any RAM for it, so we have to replace all the RAM. And he was like, "Yeah, we bought the same model computer. We bought RAM for it like 3 or 4 years ago." And he's like, "Yeah, it was only like $300-400 to get it. So now I have $300-400 to get some new RAM." And it's like he wants to get like 32 gigs in it, and it's like that's gonna. He doesn't know what the market's at right now. It's bad.
That's why I had 32 gigs of RAM. I got 4 8 sticks.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I didn't upgrade was the motherboard and RAM. Because the motherboard I can still support an i9 11900.
Mm-hmm.
So everything else got it. And then now I have a 1 terabyte SSD, a 2 terabyte SSD, and a 2 terabyte HDD.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So I just shared a slideshow with everyone. If everyone wants to open that up. While you're doing that, talk to my opening spiel here. Welcome everyone to today's class, the Advanced Demolitions course. My name is Second Lieutenant Harry Mazinski. Been with the CAF for about 6 years now. I'm the platoon leader for Helios, which is demolition and medical. This is very much in my wheelhouse. This class will take approximately 90 minutes. A few ground rules for today's training. First and foremost, no unauthorized or unsafe weapon discharges at any time. Please remember that this is an official setting, so you must observe all 7 cavalry rules and regulations while in this class. You are encouraged to have a notebook out ready to take notes. Important points will be reinforced for you to remember. If you have a question mark, type a question mark in the global chat like so, and I'll be soon to answer it as soon as I can. And lastly, have fun. We do these courses for your guys' benefit, and the best way to learn and retain the material is by enjoying it. So please have fun. Today, we're going to be covering 3 basic fundamentals. First, the fundamentals of hasty demolition. 2, applications of SOSRA on the breach. And 3, how to perform battle drill 8, breach of a mined wire obstacle. So this course is on teach troopers on how to conduct hasty demolitions through its most typical application, that being conducting a breach under fire. So by the end of this course, you will have understood the fundamentals of the hasty breach and battle drill number 8. Now let's move to our slideshow here, and I'll be streaming it as well, just for funsies. Nope, not that one. What? No. There we go. Okay. So, basic agenda for today. Like I said, we're covering some essential knowledge, demolition types, and battle drill 8. And then we're going to be covering some basic of working the breach. So, slide 2 here. Basic points of essential knowledge. We have 2 types of demolitions. The first is a deliberate demolition, second is a hasty demolition. So deliberate demolitions are used when there's no expected interference by enemy forces and allows for thorough reconnaissance of the demolition site. It prioritizes team safety over speed of work and does not require site security outside of what is provided by the demolition team. They're focused on economy of force, using the smallest possible team to achieve the requested demolition effect and allow the demolition party to abort the demolition if unsafe conditions occur as assessed by the party members. Haste demolitions, on the other hand, are used when time is limited and enemy elements are either attacking the site directly or expected to during the conduct of the demolition. They put a premium on speed of work, as the longer the demolition team stays near the site, the more risk both they and friendly elements near the site are exposed to. They are conducted with other elements providing additional security. They also do not allow for the demolition party to abort the demolition once they pass the arrival position. The demolition party must complete the demolition complete the demolition as long as the party is physically capable of doing so, unless recalled by higher elements or conditions at the site change drastically. So basically, deliberate demolitions, we do not expect the enemy to interfere. Hasty demolitions, we do. This also means that, for example, deliberate demolitions can be conducted hastily, right? Because you can have a deliberate demolition where it's a safe area, but it's something that wasn't briefed as part of the op work, right? So the team has to hastily go somewhere to perform a deliberate demolition. And you can also have hasty demolitions that are performed deliberately, right? Like, for example, in a brief, if we know there's going to be an obstacle we're coming up to, we can have that demolition as part of the brief. But it still is conducted as a hasty demolition because specifically because of the enemy factor at play on that demolition. Next slide here. The practical focus of this course is U.S. Army Battle Drill 8, Breach of a Mind-Wired Obstacle, because it typifies the hasty demolition. Battle Drill 8 is usually conducted under fire and is time limited, as longer enemy forces remain in contact on the opposing side of an obstacle, the more time enemy elements have to attrit friendly forces through direct and indirect fire. It is critical that all members of the demolition team are capable of executing this drill at will once an obstacle has been identified by friendly forces. So, when connecting these, we want to make sure that we know how to do these as quickly as possible, because like I said, this is exposing not just us, but also our security elements as well, and typically other friendly elements that are along that obstacle. So we want to make sure that once we are committed, we are executing on it, and we are executing on it to the best of our ability as quickly as possible. And that means we do adjust some of our background protocols that we'll talk about as we get closer to But the basics of Battle Drill 8 and all breach tasks can be broken down into 5 fundamentals represented by the acronym SOSRA, or Suppress, Obscure, Reduce, and Assault. These fundamentals can be applied to any task which requires friendly forces to overcome enemy defenses, such as the attack, entering and clearing enemy positions, reacting to ambush, attack fortifications, or in our case, breaching obstacles. A note on the language here, the term breach point is used to refer to the point at which the lane for friendly forces to move through the obstacle is created. If explosives are to be used, the breach point will also be the hot zone. So next slide here. So running through our acronym here, start with suppress. So enemy forces must be suppressed either by direct or indirect fires to prevent or degrade enemy fires and observation of friendly forces at the demolition site. Suppression is typically the trigger for the execution of the rest of the battle drill, and typically is conducted by the closest friendly force to the demolition site. Right? So without suppression, we do not perform the breach. Once that suppression is up, we are clear to start executing on the rest of the parts of the breach. So once we have that suppression up, we then move to obscure. The demolition site must be obscured from enemy observation. Typically, this is done at multiple areas along the obstacle as to not allow enemy forces to concentrate fire on a single point of obscuration, right? Because if I'm an enemy, I'm defending my point, and I see a bunch of smoke being put out at one specific area along that obstacle, I'm going to assume someone is going to try to push through that obstacle, and so I'm going to put fire there, right? So we want obscuration along as much of the obstacle as we can. If additional elements cannot assist with obscuration, the demolition party must be prepared to deploy obscuration from the last point of cover and concealment to the breach. The last point of cover and concealment will also be marked as the arrival position. So once we have our obscuration up, we then move on to secure. Next slide. So secure. The demolition team must secure the breach point itself, placing additional physical protection to act as the firing position if necessary for explosive use. Right, so this is, we have our obscuration, we have our suppression up, we have our obscuration, a lot of smoke. We move up and secure the breach point itself. If we are going to use explosives, then we are going to designate members of the team to dig trench positions so we can set off demolitions without having to back off the obstacle. Right, so it allows us to be as close as we can to that obstacle while still staying safe from those explosives. We may move on to reduce. The demolition team will then create a lane through the obstacle wide enough to allow the designated assault force through using whatever equipment necessary for the composition of the obstacle. This is important, talking about width. If we are only moving a squad of infantry through, we don't need to blow a hole that's 10 meters wide, right? If you're trying to get one infantry squad through, you can probably get away with like a meter or 2 meter wide obstacle, right? So you don't have to remove a bunch of wire, all you have to remove is one piece of C wire. If we're doing vehicles, it has to be wide enough to move the width of a vehicle through. If it's a platoon, preferably we want 2 lanes. So for example, if you're moving a platoon's worth of vehicles, preferably you would want something that's as wide as 2 vehicle widths. So that allows vehicles to go both in and out of the obstacle at the same time. But then, like I said, if it's infantry, really you can get away with like 5 meters at most, because that allows for two-way traffic on foot without touching the sides of the obstacle. And then as it says here, tools are obstacle dependent, right? Explosives are not always the right choice. They're the most fun choice, but they're not always the right choice for the obstacle, right? We're prioritizing speed of work. If it's faster to get a shovel out and dig down an obstacle, or to get wire cutters out and clip wire, then we're going to be doing those before we go right to, chucking stack charges down and setting off the whole obstacle. And then lastly, after we reduce the obstacle, we assault. So the assault force will move through the lane and assault the enemy positions on the far side of the obstacle. The demolition team will work at the breach point to provide additional obscuration and fire on the site, and suppress enemy positions until the assault force is through the breach, at which point the demolition team will be free to maneuver. Right, so this is a big thing. Remember, everything we do is fire maneuver, right? All the way down from buddy team to company-sized elements. If a team is moving through our lane that we've created, we are now part of their suppression element, right? Our job is to put fire and obscuration out for them so they can freely maneuver. And then once they establish themselves on the other side, then we come through behind them, or we go off and do whatever else we need to do. But we just need to make sure that when that assault force is going through, that we are not letting up our fire, and we are still adding our weight of fire to the fight as a whole. So regardless of the obstacle composition or size of the breach, SOSRA fundamentals can be applied to any breach task, and all demolition team members must be capable of conducting them on demand. Are there any questions about that? All right, cool. So, Bolt, what is prioritized in a hasty demolition? Bolt.
The speed of the work over the security of the site.
All right. Russell, which social fundamental is the trigger for the execution of Battle Drill 8?
Ask the question again.
What fundamental in SOSRA, what fundamental is the trigger for the execution of Battle Drill 8? So what do we need before we start stepping onto any of the other fundamentals?
Suppression.
Flint, you don't have to give me a specific here, in terms of like but how wide should a breach lane be?
Depending on what we're having, either if it's just infantry, wide enough for the infantry, if it's vehicles, wide enough for a vehicle.
Okay. Bolt, where should the demolition team be positioned while an assault force is moving through a breach?
In security detail, so that the assault force can push through and the demolition team can act as suppression.
Yep. And then, okay, that basically answered question number 5, which was what should the demolition team be doing while the assault force moves to the breach? So you answered it. We need to be in security position, providing security. But yeah, okay. So with that, we're gonna swap over. I'm gonna say in Discord comms, but we're gonna swap over to game real quick. Or not real quick. We're gonna be in game for the rest of this thing. I'm just speaking in Discord because it's easier to speak here. Okay. So with that, we're gonna move on to working the breach. So we'll now be working through a number of practical scenarios to demonstrate breach fundamentals. So we'll start talking about tools of the breach. Going from B-demo, obviously we cover our explosive devices, right? We've got our M112 demo blocks. Those are fairly effective for taking out vehicles, but for structures, you typically need more of them. Most of these, if you look behind you, those stone walls that are there, or those concrete walls with the runners, typically each one of those is going to require 4 demo blocks to take out. Once again, V-demo fundamentals. If we can't take it out with those mines, we can't take it out with the demo blocks, we switch over to our AT mines. AT mines, the big M15 AT mines, we can't set those off directly, so we use an M112 demo block on top of it, set it off as a stack charge. So you set the M112 as the basically the booster charge for the AT mine. Set off the M112, it sets off the AT mine, but they need to be right next to each other. Wired obstacles. Fences can be cleared by wire cutters when not deployed in depth and only need to be wide enough for infantry to pass through. Right, so if we're trying to clear a line for a platoon of foot mobiles, all we need to do, cut through that wire and call it a day. You might consider other tools if it's in depth. So if it's 2 or 3 sets of wires all close to each other, there are other tools that can be used. But for that one wire set, you really only need the wire cutters. Certain obstacles and compositions can also be disassembled quicker by shovel than by explosives and won't leave rubble. So for example, get one of these guys out here. Delete that, clean that up. It's like if you all look to the north real quick. Right, so this guy here, we've got wire, we've got sandbags, we've got some dirt that's showing up. We can clear all that individually, but that's kind of bullshit because this is all one single composition, and Flint's already got a shovel out. Flint, if you want to dig that down. Instead of spending our time setting up the explosives and going through, cutting the wire, doing all that fun stuff, we can just take a shovel out, disassemble the whole thing, and then it's gone without a trace, right? It should be now. Oh, I got the timer completely. Now, one of the things to note with disassembly is that multiple people don't add to the disassembly time. So unlike construction, where if you have multiple people with shovels out, it makes the construction faster. For deconstruction, it doesn't matter whether you have 1 person or 100 people deconstructing an obstacle. It's the exact same time. So when you are deconstructing, that's something where you want to work with your battle buddy. If someone starts taking their shovel out and starts digging, your priority is not to take your shovel out and help them dig down. Your priority is to provide cover for them, right? Because your shovel is not going to do anything at that point. Mines can be removed by hand quicker than by explosives, provided they are not part of a large minefield. Right, so if I come across a single AT mine, get these out. Right, the Russians have these single TM62 mines. These can be disarmed directly. You don't even need special tools for it. Right, I'll just disarm real quick. Pull the thing off, take the top. No red top, it's disarmed. And I can now freely pick this up, move it somewhere else, and do whatever I want to do with it. And also, I can rearm it as well.
Well, I definitely gotta say,
I'm bringing this up. We should always remember explosives require both a primer and a triggerman. Require a primer and a placer. My bad. And are far heavier than wire cutters, shovels, and wrenches. And those tools are far more lightweight to be used by single troopers. Demolition sections should always be prepared for explosives work, but should prioritize speed and other demolition tools before going right to explosives. Right? We have a ton of options here for how to tackle tasks. And that's one of the reasons why we carry all those tools with us individually, right? Is that we really want to make sure that we are flexible enough to handle any scenario that we come up against, and be able to clear whatever obstacles in front of us without having to sit around and be like, oh, we got to go back, we got to get this, or we got to get that, whatever. So it's important to remember, just always carry all the tools you need with you, and always be flexible with how you're going to approach your problems. So, first scenario here, you're right around the side of this wall. Let me actually grab a backpack here. Okay. So come around here. Today we're going to be acting as Helios 1, and we're attached to a Pioneer infantry platoon moving dismounted through a forested area. Pioneer platoon has reported they've come across a wire obstacle blocking their route of travel and is requesting a breach so that they continue on their route. They have not reported enemy contact at the breach point. Right? So this is going to be a hasty demolition because, well, the enemy is not currently here. Obstacles are useless if they're not being monitored, and the assumption should always be that a obstacle is monitored in some way, shape, or form. Right? Even if it's not, a dude right on top of it, kind of patrolling back and forth along the wire, always assume someone's watching, always assume there's some sensor, right? Just because you don't see the enemy doesn't mean they don't have the capacity to see you in some way, shape, or form. So, receiving this task, Helios 1, acting as the SL myself, will start by creating the demolition party and splitting them into a guard and firing team with the following roles. Guard team commander, responsible for coordinating security at the breach site, which will be myself, typically as the squad leader. A guard team member, who is responsible for conducting close security at the breach, typically the battle buddy of the squad leader or RTO if assigned. In this case, Flint, you will be acting as my guard team member. And then myself and Flint, we are going to call up red. Okay. Then we'll have our firing team commander, who is responsible for coordinating the demolition of the obstacle and priming if explosives are used, and is typically filled by the squad's 2 IC. So Bolt, you will be our firing team commander, and then our firing team member, who will be responsible for handling the demolition as directed by the firing team commander. They will also be carrying and placing explosives if explosives are used. So we should note hasty demolitions do not require the assignment of a triggerman, and the priming role is automatically assumed by the firing team commander. This is purposeful as it simplifies the conduct of the breach task, so priming can be done immediately when explosives are used at the breach. Right, so this is a big difference because when we do our deliberate demolitions, we typically do someone walks into the hot zone, places demolition charges, comes back, and then someone else comes in after them and does the priming of the explosives. In a hasty breach, we don't do that back and forth. At the hasty breach, everything is done on the breach point itself, right? And this is a speed of work thing, right? We're abandoning that safety so we can get faster on actually placing and getting those charges off. Now, depending on manpower availability or the scale of the obstacle, there may not be enough people to fill the guard team, in which case the firing team commander and firing team member can conduct the breach and fill additional firing team members as required by the obstacle. So the guard team is a nice to have, but the firing team is always required, right? You can't perform demolition without the guys who are assigned to do the actual demolition. One of the other reasons we're also okay with not having a guard team is because, well, it's nice to have that close-in security. We're relying really on another squad. We're relying on another squad entirely to provide that security, right? The guard team is providing like really close conditional security, but what we're really relying on is that other squad providing suppression for us while we're doing this movement. So, if everyone wants to come with me over here, and we'll talk about our obstacle. So we're looking ahead. What do we got? We got 2 sets of parallel wire blocking what looks like a bunker on the far east side there. Range of that first set of wire is about 40 meters. Range of the bunker is 79. Call that 80. So we're now going to use this obstacle to walk through each breach fundamental, those being suppress, obscure, secure, reduce, and assault. So suppress. The demolition party is first going to move to make contact with the most forward element in the platoon. The guard team commander will make contact with the squad leader of the forwardmost element. As there is no contact at the breach, no immediate suppression is going to be required, but the guard team commander must still make a verbal plan with the squad leader to suppress key positions if the demolition party takes contact on the breach. So in this case, let's say we've got a squad up here south on these rocks. All right, we're going up and we're talking to him. Russell, what are some key positions we want to have planned out with them to suppress if we start taking contact?
Sorry, I probably should start keying my mic here. Definitely the bunker. You said they're going to be what, here on top of these rocks, or the high ground over here above?
They're just going to be on top of these rocks. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely the high ground on each side. I'd be keeping their eyeballs up there, and then what?
Be inside that bunker observing us. Well, we're not able to observe them, right? Because the lighting is flipped around. So it's very important that they know, like, hey, if we start taking contact, even if it's not coming from that bunker, you should put fire on that bunker, because they very well could be in there or could be preparing to attack from in there, right? So we want to make sure we're making that communication with those leads. So once we've discussed suppression, we're then going to move to obscure. So the demolition party will then move to the obstacle using available cover and concealment. Once again, because no contact has been taken, obscuration doesn't have to be deployed to preserve stealth. But the guard team commander should make a verbal plan with the party to deploy hand smokes on the breach point if contact is taken. Once we get up to our final point, the guard team member will then mark that point as the arrived position. So that's the last point of cover and concealment. So in this case, last point of cover and concealment is pretty straightforward, right? Just in the northeast here, we've got this nice other set of rocks. So let's take a little march over here. Right. It's just a nice spot. Like I said, good cover and concealment. Nice big rock. Can't shoot through that. Is maybe like a 10 meter, not even, probably a 5 meter sprint to get up to that wire. Right. So this is a good last point of cover and concealment. And we're calling this our arrival position. So, and once again, making a plan here. Myself and Flint acting as the guard team. Right. We have a plan to put smokes out on that fence if we start taking contact. But obviously we haven't taken contact yet, so we don't put the smokes out. Next, we move to secure. So at this point, the demolition party will now leave cover and concealment and approach the breach point. At this point, the party is now dedicated to the breach and must execute as long as casualties permit. Once at the breach point, the guard team commander will direct local security and the FTC will begin reducing the obstacle. So we won't actually reduce the obstacle because we're kind of doing our talk through here. But you know, if you come up here, you can make the basic idea what the plan is, right? Take your wire cutters out, pop this fence. Once that fence is cut through, cut the next fence. Cutting is exactly the same as disassembling, where it doesn't matter if you have multiple people doing the cutting. It's only going to be as fast as the first person who does it, right? So there's no difference between having 5 people cutting one set of wire versus 1 person cutting one set of wire. But like I said, we'll reduce the obstacle. Once we're up here, we have secured the obstacle. We then move to reducing. So the firing team commander and the firing team members will reduce the obstacle using all available tools. They will first try to use wire cutters to demolish the wild obstacle, and if wire cutters are not capable, then they'll move to explosives. The reason why I say that is because, kind of speaking meta, some components, the ability for the wire cutters to work is based on what the parent class of that prefab object is, and there are some wire prefab objects that do not have the right parent class. So there are some cases where I can actually show you a set of wire that has this problem. Where's the Soviet wire? Here. So see this obstacle right here? This one specifically is a big one because this is marked under the Soviets, and they love using this one. But as you can see, there is no option to cut this wire, right? So in this case, if we come across this obstacle in particular, we would have to use explosives to demolish it. Right. But in the case of the wire fence behind us, right, we can cut through that no problem. So let's get that real quick. And then lastly, let's say we've done our reduction, right? So we've cut through not just this set of wire, but the second set of wire as well. We then move on to the assault, right? So once the breach point has been expanded into a lane wide enough to move the platoon through, which for infantry, we really only need one set of obstacle or one set of wire cut on each row. The guard team commander will then inform the platoon that they are good to assault through. The demolition party will then hold at the breach point until the platoon has passed through. Once the platoon has passed through, the demolition party is free to conduct their work as they see fit.
Hey, Maz,
So-
quick question.
What's up, Bolt?
So why is it that you can cut this one, you can't cut this one, but then you can cut this one? Why is there a gap?
Because the prefab here is two fences wide, right? So the idea is that, like, if I'm right here, I'm looking at the center of one wire prefab. This right here, this is a connection point between two of them. This is the center of the next one, right? So it's because the widths are offset from each other. The walls have the exact same thing, where each of the wall panels is, if you look actually behind us here, look just to the west. So like starting from this side, you can actually see it where I'm standing. These two panels that I'm in front of are part of the exact same prefab. And then this right here is a completely different panel, right? So in this case, each of these are too wide. For the fence behind you, it's the exact same, where they're too wide as well. So most long linear obstacles like this will either be 2 or 3 panels or pieces long, and you'll only be able to cut at the center of those pieces, right? But yeah. So, anyone got any questions, comments, concerns about any of that? Sick. All right. If everyone wants to real quick follow me back here, we'll go back to our start positions.
Man, this cough is... It's coughing cold.
I'm coming. I'm just weighing in at 65 kilograms.
How many mines you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of heavy.
I got 2.
Are you guys just... Why are you carrying 2 of them?
I don't know.
I gotta get these guys set up real quick. Yeah, real talk. If you're carrying like heavy demolitions like mines, you only really need like one of them, right? The second one's overkill. What you're gonna rely on having more members in your team more than anything else if you're trying to bring a lot of those sort of explosives. Okay. Sorry, I'm flipping one thing around here.
Yeah, I forgot I had one in my backpack when I put one on my back.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I do apologize. I had an RTC right before this, so I had to get this built pretty quickly. But anyway, so we're now going to perform the walkthrough for the obstacle that we just walked through. So, coming around here, got our obstacle, 2 sets of wire, linear obstacles, bunker on the other side, bunker's not pure occupied. All right, team, stay put. Pioneer 4, this is Helios 1. I want you to prepare to put suppression on that bunker if we take contact from it. We're going to move up to the rock on the northeast and then start blowing through the obstacle. All good? Oh, yeah, that sounds good, Helios 1. You have fun with that. All right, thanks, Pioneer 4. All right, everyone. Security's all set. Team, we're going to be moving along the northeast here to a set of rock. Last point of cover and concealment. Let's try to keep it crouched just in case someone's watching. All right, let's move it. All right, team, this is our arrival position. Breach point is to the east-southeast, about 5 meters from here. Bolt, Russell, you two are going to be cutting through the wire. Bolt, I want you overwatching because I believe it's just going to be easy enough to cut with one person. Russell, you're going to be the one doing the actual cutting here. Myself and Flint will be providing close security. If we take contact, Flint, we're going to be putting smokes out to the east. Let's try to keep it wide, keep a nice 40-meter spread on those smokes if we start taking contact. Anyone got questions, comments, concerns? All right, good stuff. We're going in. Move, 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 move. Security set.
Copy. Russell cut.
Cutting.
Pioneer forward, contact east. Deploy smoke. No, Russell, Bolt, you guys are keeping the obstacle going. You guys got to keep cutting.
Russell, alright, you take this one too.
Cutting.
Alright, set gate.
Obstacle's
Alpha can
clear.
go through.
All right, swing out. All right, assault team's coming through. All right, team, we're adding way to fire east. Lift fire, lift fire.
Holy shit! I fucking forgot about the shit.
It's all good, man.
How far in?
We just did the first breach set.
Okay.
All right. And then now the assault team's through. They're clearing the rest of the obstacle, and that's the completion of the breach. All right. Anyone got questions, comments, concerns about any of that?
Yeah, I actually got one. So, should you bound pass as the breaching team? Should you switch roles? So, say Russell caught. Should I just move ahead to the next one and start cutting, and then Russell behind me can now switch roles and provide the overwatch? Would that make the most sense?
I mean, it's a pretty good idea. It's entirely your call on how to do it, but yeah, that'd be a good idea. If you can only have one person working the obstacle at a time, then just bound up past them and keep doing the next cut once you guys are in it.
That's a good question.
But like I was saying, when we're doing this, it is very important that even if we take contact, right, the breach team basically is just going to have to trust, or not the breach team, the firing team, sorry. The firing team is really going to have to trust that the guard team is going to be able to do their job. Because like I said, our priority, we're on the obstacle right now. We've got to make sure that we are blowing through it as quickly as possible. We cannot take the time to stop and be like, hey, let's even the short little break of like, oh, well, I already got my rifle up. I might as well put some rounds out. Like, no, we got to stay focused on the obstacle, right? Because this is a very simple obstacle, obviously. It's extremely linear, very easy to identify what's ahead of us, what's behind us, and we know there's no threats to the side, so we're already pointed in the right way. But as we start getting into more of these scenarios, the complexity of this is going to start increasing, and you're going to realize very quickly that, we've got to make sure that we are handling that breach, especially when we're using explosives. Because remember, if you are, once again, you're the firing team, you're setting demolitions, you're setting actual explosives, you've got a clacker in hand. If you've got something primed, it's very easy to try to swap to your rifle, and in the fumble of trying to swap to it, you accidentally trigger you hit the clacker, and the whole thing goes off, right? One of the if you ever watch any documentaries about like Iwo Jima, Okinawa, or any work in the Pacific, especially in the later war, the work of the engineers is described as very workmanlike, right? It's not engaging in the fight. It is doing the same steps over and over again, working your breaches, working your demolitions, doing that engineering task over and over and over again. And that's the feel that we want to it, right? Once we're dedicated to the breach, we are dedicated to the breach. It doesn't matter what rolls up. It doesn't matter what starts putting fire our way. We're there, right? We're either in it or we're going to die in it. And that's just the reality of being engineers. But anyway.
Yeah, that was my bad. Once bullets start flying, it was just instinct. Like, got to return fire.
No, it's all good. Like I said, this is what, this is exactly why we have this practical setup this way. But yeah. All right. So if no one's got any questions, we are going to switch into in-game comms, and we're going to push over to our next obstacle here.
Man.
Gonna get the box.
What do I need to grab?
Miranda, grab the heavy bag. Make sure you got wire cutters, clacker, and 2 times M112 demo blocks. And then Flint and Miranda, make sure you guys got your armbands as well. Alright.
Kind of wish we had the Bangalore to play around with now.
We're working on it. It's just taking time to get in. Alright, so same deal as before. We're going to do a walkthrough of the objective before we actually go out and handle it. The change here is that this is for a contested breach. So we're going to be acting as Helios 1, attached to a bandit infantry platoon, moving dismounted through a city. Bandit platoon has been engaged by enemy forces in the city and has come across a roadblock they need removed. The area of the breach is actively under enemy fire. So receive this information. Helios 1 is going to assign team roles as directed previously, and will begin moving the demolition party forward to conduct the demolition. For the sake of this, I'm actually going to flip the roles around here. Flint. Actually, yeah, here's how I'm going to do it. Okay. Flint and Miranda, you guys are going to be the guard team members, so you guys are in charge of security. No, wait, sorry. My bad. We're flipping it, so Flint and Miranda, you guys are the firing team, so you guys are in charge of the demolition. Bolt and Russell, you guys will be in charge of security. And yeah, questions, comments, concerns before we start?
Sometimes historic events suck.
Excellent. All right, everyone come with me.
Oh, it should suck. Is learning about history. I do that.
So obviously, urban environment, right? This is a bit nastier by default. We've got a lot of areas to worry about, a lot of places fire can be coming from, and we're coming across our obstacle. We're coming across our obstacle here and now. So, just kind of open floor. What do you guys think about the obstacle here? What's opposing us?
Hedgehogs, sea wire, and sandbags.
Yeah. What's anyone notice anything different about these sandbags here?
The section's missing out of them.
So this is actually kind of what I was talking about before. It's kind of hard to notice, but this is one of the things like you start picking up as you do this more. The center obstacle here is not a set of sandbags, sea wire, and hedgehogs. This is a single composition. So this is destroyable via shovel. The ones on the side here, though, these are individual rolls of sea wire and sandbags. You can normally tell the difference because they start overlapping, right? So the obstacles, the compositions typically have like a very nice edge to them. So like, for example, I'll teleport myself here. So like you can see how the edge between these two sets of sandbags is different, right? It looks like they're two separate things because they are, right? This one that I'm standing in front of, this is a regular sandbag object, and this that I'm standing on now is the composition. You can also tell because all the compositions are covered with vegetation. So all these little like bushes and shit that's in front of you, that indicates that this is in fact a composition and not a regular obstacle. So that means that this center guy here, this can be destroyed using a shovel, right? We can pull out the shovel and we can disassemble this guy. The guys on the edge, though, these are actual objects, actual sea wire. Sea wire has to be cut, sandbags have to be blown, right? So that gives us two options for how to attack this objective. We can either attack the center of it and just shovel it down, or we can attack the sides and do the wire cutting and the explosives. So, Flint, what's the pros and cons of attacking this obstacle in the center here and going right for this composition here?
The pros is it'll be quicker and quieter. The cons is it can take a little bit longer and leave you exposed right out in the open.
Yep, exactly. It'll be quicker to do because it's just one shovel action. But the downside is, this is probably the most. If I was an enemy and I was looking at where someone was going to breach my obstacle I got set up here, this is probably the place I'd put it, right? And because it's in the center of the road, we got a lot of different windows and angles we can have people putting rounds in from. On the inverse of that, Bolt, what's pros and cons of attacking this from the side and going after the sea wire and sandbag objects?
One of the pros would be that you could place explosives and stack charge it, and then you could use this building here to hide and to detonate. Same with the other side. Con would be just if if you have a failed detonation, now you're kind of stuck either repeating the process or moving on to plan B. But then if you're trying to stay quiet, you lose all elements of surprise.
Yeah, basically. The one thing I will note here, because you brought up using the building. So, in the same way... fuck, I touched the wire. The one thing I would be concerned about with hiding in these buildings specifically, I would be concerned about mines setting these buildings off and bringing them down. Especially if I'm putting a mine like right where, you know, not right where I'm standing, but like a little bit in front of where I'm standing. There's a good chance if I stack charge this, I could very well knock over the building next to me, especially if the building is taking any damage. Right, remember we're in an urban environment, so it's very likely that these buildings have already been hit with grenades, already been hit with rockets, right? They've been contacted before, so there's a good chance if we set off a mine right next to the building, it brings the whole building down. So in that case, we would probably want to push our assault position, or not our assault position, push our arrival position back a bit, probably to like that next set of buildings up where the intersection is, like over here. So instead of being set up in these buildings, we'd probably want to be set up behind these buildings, right? So tuck into this right or left corner here. Okay. But yeah, so two choices. We got the center attack and we got the side attack. For this, I'm thinking the center attack's probably the best bet. Prioritizing speed of work here. We're already in contact, so the element of surprise doesn't really matter. However, my concern would be with those obstacles stacked on top of each other. There's a very real possibility we put one stack charge down, and we are actually not able to blow both obstacles, right? We know that stacked obstacles can act weird. We've seen this before, right, where they just block each other sometimes in terms of the damage radius. So in this case, I think the best bet is going to be going for the center on the shovel. So with that, we're going to fall back to our start position here. And give me a quick second to make this lively. Alright, so Bolt, you're going to be leading the guard team as we talked about before. For approaching this obstacle, we're actually not going to go east. We're actually going to curve south and go around this two-story building and then come out the other side. And then in terms of contacting with the team leader, I'll like take control of them. But you know, it's I'm taking control when I'm already right next to you. We'll figure it out as we get up there. All right, give me a quick second here. All right, Bolt, take us out.
Copy. All right, let's move south-southeast around this building.
South-southeast.
All right, short halt.
Short halt.
One times obstacle in the middle of the road, overlooked by enemies in the high buildings, overlooking on multiple floors. Looks like the easiest way to do this is going to be two-part, move up to arrival point. The guard team will pop smoke, and then the breach team will move up in assault the we'll demo the position. I'm gonna go relay it to the team leader on Bandit now.
All right.
Yeah, keep that fire, boys. Yeah, yeah. Oh, what you got?
Bandit squad, Helios reporting in for demolition. What I'm gonna have you do, suppress the enemy on the higher buildings. We're gonna do this in two-part, move up to two different locations. First part, we'll get the guard team set. At that point, guard team will pop smoke. After smoke obscures, the breaching team will move up and start their demolition on the center point of that objective.
Alright, sounds good. We're shooting the buildings.
Helios, go ahead and move up to this destroyed truck. Past this destroyed truck on the right, 10 meters, there's a building we're going to use as hard cover.
Alright, we're moving out.
Alright, Russell, get prepared to pop smoke.
Profit smoke.
Send your smoke far towards the center, and I'll send mine closer
you gonna shut
to the
up?
right.
Raj, sending fire.
Oh,
Copy.
yeah.
Go ahead and obscure.
Alright,
Smoke
I'll
out.
go.
Smoke out.
Alright, assault team, go, go, go. Russell, bump out to the left. Put down
Bump
fire.
out to the left.
Oh, Miranda, stay on the breach. Stay focused, stay focused.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Russell, when the middle gets broken down, bound pass, we gotta push ahead and assault.
Copy.
Reloading. Go, go, go.
Down to pass.
Guard team set, holding position and cover.
Lightning bolt.
Happy, push forward to the building. I'm gonna reload quick.
Alright, call that index.
Alright, everyone, bring it in.
I sneezed so hard I popped my jaw. Holy fuck.
Okay, so I will say on this, Bolt, I do like the initiative. However, remember what we want to do is that we want to be sitting on that breach point after we have reduced it, and we want to let the assault team come through first, right? So what you'd want to do in that case, you would wait for the bandit squads in the back to push through the line, and then we would follow in and assume behind them, right? Us leading through, that's a good way for us to get schwacked, because we're not ready to deal with what's on the other side of this obstacle, right? We're not built for that. But yeah, other than that, I liked it. It was good stuff. Good work getting the obstacle reduced, right? It's difficult because, like I said, it's a disassembly, so only one person can really work on it. Flint was doing a good job putting that shovel out. Miranda, good work, provides overhead cover. The other thing I will say, Bolton Russell with this buddy team, I like the idea of spreading across and covering both sides of the road. However, I don't like doing that when we only have two people and we're going to end up splitting everyone across the entire road to do that, right? So, it's dealer's choice. Everything's meant TC dependent. But with this, I think it would have been better if Bolt and Russell, if you guys had stayed together on one side and provided that concentrated fire while Flint and Miranda did the actual clearing. But other than that, that was good stuff, though. I liked it.
So, at that point, would you just create a line then to send Bandit through? I thought maybe if you... So, instead of having all five of us bunched in one spot, where one grenade could kill everyone, I thought it would make more sense for me and Russell to at least just push 5-10 meters ahead to just get on the other side of the smoke, and then you kind of see like what you're dealing with next.
Well, with this... hold on, let me actually get the guys down. Okay, so let's say these are you guys, right? For you guys, let's say the obstacle's just been cleared through. What you would want to do is instead of actually talking the radio here, instead of like rushing out to cover the other side of the breach immediately, what you would probably want to do is tuck one team into one side of the breach here, and tuck the other team into the other, right? And allow the rest of the infantry. Hold on. And allow the rest of the unit to come through where that Humvee is, right? So you guys are still, you know, you're not as grouped up, but you're still maintaining that 2-and-2 security. So you still have your buddy teams together, right? But you're not all grouped up in one big area.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Gotta wait for the fucking Zeus voice to clear. Once again, everything is met TC. The main thing is just base principles. We want to make sure no one's running out on their own. We want to make sure that buddy teams stay together. We want to make sure that we're still maintaining security on the breach while the assault team's pushing through, right? As long as we're doing all that, we're making the right decision. But yeah, with that, stand by for TP. We'll get another breach going.
So we actually, anyone new, or those that you know that have been here a while, check our channel.
So,
Kaczynski's the platoon lead, as he
on
originally said. Flint, Moran, and myself are all the Helios guys anyway, so this is just kind of just more practice time on this. The only guy we were missing that was gonna be here, well, actually two people.
Okay.
We're missing Thompson, who was originally signed up for this
for
class.
This one, Flint,
he
you're
had
going
to
to be
back
acting as
out.
the guard team commander with
And
Miranda,
then,
and then firing team commander will be Russell, and firing team member will be Bolt. All right.
Where's the other one missing? But he's been working overnight, so he actually come this week. You'll see where a lot more. So you'll see actually like the six of us a lot more frequently.
Shotgun.
Alright, everyone, I'll brief you on the scenario real quick, and then I'll get the AI active. So we are now going to be conducting Battle Drill 8 on an obstacle reported by Viking Platoon. We will be acting as Helios 1 and are responding to a mined and wired obstacle blocking a route which Viking Platoon is attempting to clear. Our report, if you open up your map real quick. Everyone see that red flag that I placed down?
Yep.
Alright.
See it.
So, the basic idea of Viking Platoon is Viking Platoon was attempting to transit from east to west. When they hit that roadblock, they're reporting at least multiple sets of wire plus mines. They're also reporting mines on other sides of the road, right? So our priority is getting to that road and getting that open so Viking can push through and engage contacts on the other side. They have contacts west and south, approximately 300 meters, occupying those buildings 049032, 048033. So we're going to roll up there, we're going to clear through that obstacle, and then we're going to let Viking push out past us. All right? Any questions, comments, concerns? Sick. Stand by.
Fan armies have squad goals, but you have ad goals. Spotify's Ads Manager lets you choose the objective that works best for your business. However you optimize your campaign, advertising on Spotify is a choice any squad can get behind. Learn more at ads.spotify.com.
Alright. Alright, there we go.
What the fuck is that on the road?
That is a bunker. Holy. Team dismount. Woo. Guard team, take us out southwest. Rally up those Viking guys. See what's up. Put the mine away.
Well, it's right there. We got contact southwest down the road and contact southwest in that fucking building up there.
Alright, I need you guys to keep suppression on that building, and where we're taking the contact from, we're gonna go ahead and move up.
Alright, sounds good. Suppressive fire!
Smoke out.
Smoke out.
Smoking.
Alright, demo team push up.
Copy, move it.
Move it.
We're right behind you.
Paul, you got a mine on you?
Yep.
Stay here, I'll go for it.
Yeah.
This is awful. This has nothing.
It has nothing?
That is empty.
Oh boy, okay.
Hey, we can cut this wire, Bolt. Get up here and cut it. I'll cover you.
Bolty, I dropped a mine here if you need it.
Wait, we're gonna have to clear these,
Hey, we also got Russian AT mines in here we can set off.
I actually just disarmed one.
Holy
Flint,
God.
where's that AT mine?
I got a mine right here. Place we can blow this side.
Copy. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'll put a stack charge on this, and then a stack charge on the Russian AT.
Yep, sounds good.
Remember, you can disarm them and move them.
We're gonna do one on this side and one on the other side. Here, why don't you go set the, you got
Set some fresh smoke if you got it.
I got no smoke. Oh wait, I got smoke. Don't
I got
start smoke.
smoke out.
Both demos are armed.
Heard?
Brush smokes out.
Smoke out.
Alright, we're good. Pulling back.
Pull them back. Helios 1 Alcon. Fire in the hole, fire in the hole, fire in the hole.
Hey, close contact west, come through the bushes. Guard team, push west, clear that out.
Frag
Demo
out.
team, keep pushing back into the zone. Let's try to make this, finish this out.
Copy.
Pushing back west.
Alright.
Alright. On you, Russell.
Bolt, pushing back in. See how we're looking. Oh, fuck.
Shit, sorry, my bad.
You backed up, I went forward. It's all good.
It's all good.
Bolt, we gotta cut some wire here. Go ahead and cut. I gotta wrap myself up a little bit. Oh, I'm wrapped up. How are we looking on this side? Yeah, just go ahead and cut. I got you covered. We'll be clear after we cut.
Copy.
We got a dig obstacle up here.
Dig obstacle. Roger.
Oh shit! Contact southwest.
Alright, Bolt, go ahead
Dig
and
him.
dig. I got you covered.
How are we looking? I got into the mine.
I'm digging
We're
down
digging.
now.
Putting some more smoke. That's my last one.
Obstacle gone.
Obstacle's cleared.
Obstacles cleared.
Alright, What do you think, Russell? We wide enough to get the vehicles through?
Yeah, we should be good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're wide enough now.
All right,
Obstacles cleared, wide enough for vehicles.
All right, let's pull back north into these bushes here, and let's let Viking push through.
All right, boys, we're falling back.
Copy, falling back.
Gonna hold here, maintain security. Viking's gonna come down the road.
There's AT mines located off the road to the north.
North security.
Oh.
Bullet north.
Did you get hit?
Did I get hit? No, I'm good.
Oh. Just kind of like disappeared.
I went closer to the stone wall, so we weren't on one side.
Yeah, no, we need to get off the all over here off the one side is what he wanted us to do.
All right, we'll call that index, folks. All right, everyone, bring it in.
This is definitely a much different type of mindset.
Yeah, 100%. It's, you know, it's weird because it's like, oh, I gotta be out in the open. I gotta, you know, walk around out here while shit's blowing up around me.
Right.
You know, you can't just be, you know, obviously use cover as best you can, but like I said, it's workmanlike, right? You show
Right,
up
exactly.
whether or not you're taking fire. You got to clear the obstacle. You got to expose yourself for it. But yeah. So anyway, looking at what we got here. Just a reminder here. In terms of obstacle, we had a hedgehog kind of leading the front of this line here. Hedgehog leading into a wire set, leading into a row of mines, leading into a pair of obstacles, right? Or a pair of compositions, right? So it's a pretty typical setup, right? We've got our hedgehogs out front. That's to prevent vehicles from just bulldozing the whole thing through. We've got wire to catch infantry. We've got mines on the inside as a last defense. And then we've got the larger compositions behind us, right? So I think coming up to this, we did a really good job, especially identifying, like, hey, we're going to need mines to blow this. I was talking about this before, right? There were Russian mines already here. Those are something we can repurpose if we want to, right? So it's very easy. Instead of using the AT mines we got on hand, we can grab the Russian ones and start using those to place stuff down. Currently, there are no anti-tamper measures on these mines, so we're, you know, if we disarm them, who said that? But like we're free to use them as long as they don't have anti-tamper stuff. But like I said, good work coming in, good work reoccupying the position after the demolition, right? Identifying those Russians coming through, guard team going out to do their job while the demo team pushes through and handles what they did here. I did not expect this Russian right here to run out in front of us. That was a ghost in the shadow that popped out at me, blasted the fuck out of him. But yeah, no, overall good stuff. And good work also keeping comms with our Viking guys as well, right? Calling on the platoon, we're doing those demolitions. Always important to make sure that those guys are aware that that's happening. But you guys can see how quickly that explosive work happens here, right? It's like we don't have that time to do the back and forth. It's got to be very quick because we got to set stuff off and get back on and off the X really quickly. Anyone got any questions, comments, concerns?
Yes, I actually got one.
What's up,
So the 18 mine went off here. Shouldn't it have sent this one off too? Just by the radius?
No, because they're the explosive, the damage radiuses for these mines is really small. Even
But if
with
it's
the
the
18 mine being that close.
But
Yeah.
the American one is bigger, or is it same idea?
These are also disarmed.
Exact same idea. Yeah, I disarmed these over here.
I was gonna say this one's armed, so I put one C4 here, thinking I could daisy chain it.
No, they're gonna have to be. It's the same thing with the M112s. Fuck. They need to be like right on top of each other, even if it's the AT mines, because their damage radius is still really small.
Got it. Okay, that's good to know in the future.
Kind of a stupid question because it's been a minute since I did the basic course. What is the radio call for blown demo?
The radio call is, hey you, this is me setting off explosives at site, whatever the site is. In this case, the site would just be breach point. Setting off explosives at breach. Normally we do the 10-second wait, but because this is a hasty demolition, we cancel that 10-second wait, so we move immediately to, hey you, this is me, hey you, this is me setting off explosives at breach point, fire in the hole, fire in the hole, fire in the hole, and then hit the clacker. Okay, that's not me. Alright, anyone else? Cool. Alright, well we got one last practical here, and then we'll call it a day, so stand by for TP. Alright, so Arsenal's over here. Plus up on what you need to plus up on, and I'll get the AI ready.
Better enjoy bacon while it's here.
Man, I never use bacon.
That's all I use.
I've never used it. I've seen all these like messages about bacon, and I'm like, I don't care.
I just got used to it because back before we filtered the Arsenal, when it was so packed, it would crash my game every single time when I opened the Arsenal.
Really?
Yeah. Now that it's filtered out, it's not so bad.
Even sometimes, though, it still kind of crashes.
Yeah, if there's too many people in it, is what it is, I've noticed. That's why I always try to put multiple Arsenals down when I do the option stuff. That way not everybody's piled into one box.
I got one 18 mine rocking on my back just in case. Seeing how the Arsenal box is empty. Yeah, what is that, Maz? Is that a bug?
It's because it's coming from the wrong Arsenal. That's why.
Ah.
So yeah, like you can see, like if you look at the Super Beaver, you can see our Arsenal's broken there as well. It's because it's all based on the Helios faction. So not having the Helios faction in game means that none of our stuff works. So everyone, if you want to open up your maps here. Oh, also, team assignments. Let's see. We read it. Yeah, that's fine. Bolt, you are taking guard team command. Russell, guard team member. Miranda, you are firing team lead. And then Flint, you are firing team member. Everyone open up your maps, please. So we're out here on the Spanish shore. We've got reports of... Oh, actually, didn't draw. If you look south of us where that red flag is, we've got reports of a large wire obstacle around a checkpoint. Currently, Misfit Platoon is providing security around it. They want us to go up there. They're going to open up on that checkpoint. They're going to be our security element while we do the breach. Yeah. And they said they should be just up this road here. Flint, you're going to want to stay red team.
Oh, I thought it was me and Russell.
Oh no, it's same pairings. We're just flopping who's
So who's taking this? Is it me?
Oh, you, buddy.
Yeah, you're firing team. So.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fire team lead. I just know I was fire team member.
Everyone, we're here.
Oh, what's going on?
So we got we got half our squad down the road here north, about 300 meters. They're hard pointed on the left side of the road, just short of some trees. We've also got our weapon squad southwest of here, about 200 meters. They're on they're basically parallel with us. So we've got our fire team able to put rounds into the objective, and we got our 4 squad able to put rounds in the objective. We've also got smoke on call, so before you guys step off, we'll have smoke as part of our suppression plan for this. Our recommendation is, since we've got our guys on the left side, that you guys push along the right side of the road on foot, stop where those cabins end, and then we'll put the smoke out, and then you guys be free to push in on foot.
I gotcha. Alright. We'll head over there. I'll let you know when we're ready. Alright, let's move out. Fire team Wedge. Wedge, heavy left. Oh, I guess normal wedge.
Yeah, we have heavy.
I almost thought about bringing the 249 too.
We're heavy. Yeah, we're heavy weight wise. We're not. We're all fat.
Well, I don't have my perkaholic bag working.
Infinite money bag.
Are Bangalores going to be added to that bag, or is that going to be like an arsenal only?
I have to figure that out. I think it makes more sense to have Bangalore's be in the vehicle and not in the handheld.
I was going to say, it's kind of, considering how the testing went, that'd be pretty broken.
Yeah.
Oh.
Excuse me. Put it in with like launchers.
Alright, let's get up to his cabins. Get behind cover. Full security south and east. I got eyes in an obstacle. Looks like a fuck ton of sandbags and sea wire.
You're supposed to be the leader here, not me. Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, Miranda, and you can see 163. You can see a bit of that that dig point stuck out where the other fire team is.
Yeah, I assume. What do you say? We're pushing up to them, or we're gonna stop here, execute suppression mission, then?
It's gonna be
push up to the
execute
other side of these
suppression.
cabins, and then execute suppression.
Gotcha. Back on me. Come west. Get into the concealment, and then we'll continue south. Fire team wedge. Alright, get online. Yeah, looks like we're online with them.
Bandit, FSO, this is Helos 1 Actual. You're good to start obscuration fire mission, over. Good, copy, all stand by.
Once you start getting smoke rounds, Alpha team will provide security while Bravo conducts the breach itself.
No, I think you guys are breaching. I think we're the guard team.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I was still confused on the roles, honestly. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, Miranda, I think you're the FTC, and then Flint's your FTM.
My headset just fucking died.
Alright, Russell. Let's get out and push out.
Roger, push
Right, rounds are out.
Alright, let's go, boys.
I got eyes here bearing southeast on obstacles.
Yeah, I see him. Get up to, like, the concealment, and we're gonna fucking pop smokes. Or, of course, you're already obscured. We're obscured, never mind. Yeah, just push up to it.
Alright, Russell, let's use the trees as our furthest advance, and then we'll get ready to pop more smoke.
Raj.
Alright, smoke out.
Smoke. Smoke out.
Alright, fire team.
Those were good to start reduction of the obstacle. Things moving out, time now.
Alright, Russell, try not to push too far in.
We're just clearing the lane. If it's on the road, it goes.
Security team, we got contact south in those bunkers, direct south and southwest.
Reloaded.
Frag out.
Smokes off.
Put some more smokes.
Digging.
Copy smoke out.
I'm digging.
Black
this
on
one
smoke.
down, firing it.
Yeah, I got 4
Reload.
left.
That's one left.
I think it's one.
I was push up 5.
Yeah, working with
Alright,
you.
cool, I'll get the lemon.
There you go.
Bunker to the southwest.
Not seeing it.
Alright, we need to blow this onto the left here. Actually, there's enough room. They can get around.
Get these mines, they saw me off the
Reloading.
road.
I want to push up a little bit more with them.
Yep, I'm gonna frag the bunker.
Raj.
Frag out.
Roger.
On the other side, I'm going to get them some more smoke.
Procure the mines, set C4, Flint, you're gonna be
Frag out.
put mines right up in there, add a 6 each, we're gonna have 2 6 total.
Black on smoke.
I got a stick over here.
Alright,
Flint,
there's
get
so
the
much
infantry on.
smoke. Let the smoke just keep up. Try not to shoot if you don't see anyone close.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm holding fire.
I don't want to give away our position in the smoke now.
C4 on that
Right.
second mine too. Banked it.
That's iron.
Kitos, we're gonna pull back for demo. Pull back about 50 meters.
Avram, home back.
Bandit FSO, this is Helios. OT direction 156, add 100, repeat, over. Repeat, last fire mission, add 100.
Alright, get behind cover, get prone. Flint on you.
What's the element?
Call it up on that. You get to fucking blow.
Fire on your Helios. Fire in the hole at breach point. Fire in the hole, fire in the hole, fire in the hole.
Alright, Helios, push up, looks like the fire mission's over. We need to fucking check, make sure all obstacles are reduced.
You still got CY.
Flint, I think you can shovel this up here. Alright. Team, stay put. Pride security, assault team's coming.
Copy.
Bandit FSO, this is Helios. Advise good screening effect on target. Friendly's pushing up. Recommend end of mission, over. Or end of mission. Bandit 6, this is Helios. Actually, you're good to start pushing up friendlies. Obstacles have been reduced. Team pushing in now. those guys showed up late. We'll call that in.
All right, stand by. Everyone, bring it in. So overall, really good work with this. Miranda, good work identifying that the mortar team was very much still available for us and to still use them to put out that obscuration when we were out of hand smoke. This is a good point to bring up, right? Through all these ones, we've been using a ridiculous amount of smoke. This is the first one where we went black on white smoke, but we went close with the other one. It's important to remember, right, when we've got our normal Helios kits, like, yeah, we've got our bags with us and we can technically pull more smoke, but we want to make sure that we're walking into breach tasks with a lot more smoke than we think we need, right? We'd much rather be carrying like 6 white smokes per person and then burn through all of those, or sorry, burn through only 3 of them, versus come in with 2 or 3 and then run out and, you know, be kind of stuck in the open, which, to be clear, is not a fault of the security team. It's just something to keep in mind, right? When we're doing these, we're going to burn through a lot of smokes. We also make sure we're carrying extra. Good work using the enemy AT mines to get the obstacle cleared through, and then once again doing that reattack, making sure that we had that wire cut and then that obstacle dug out. And then, yeah, we were able to clear through this road. We got a lot of stuff taken out on this one. Anyone got any questions, comments, concerns? Excellent.
That was good stuff. I liked it.
Yeah. Well, with that, congratulations, everyone. You have now completed the Advanced Demolitions course and are now qualified to execute breach tasks and hasty demolitions. Your efforts towards safe and effective explosive use is a critical asset in any unit. With that, we're going to exit out a game. I'm going to give you all the feedback for, and then we can get you all out of here to enjoy the rest of your Thursday. So, thank you all for coming. And we're back in game.
All right,
Not back in
that's
game,
the
back
end
in
of it. So I'll go ahead and end the stream. Thanks for anyone that tuned in.
Okay.
Tomorrow we have
All right.
Firefight Friday. Saturday is the Long Battalion FTX.
So with that, I'm going to give you guys
So,
the survey
couple other
back.
things
Just
up
need to make
this
sure real
weekend.
quick that we have
So
we do
catch
have
you guys
18
later.
on there. Sweet. So I'll read this to you guys. For the record, on timing, we ended this is a 90-minute course. We ended just on time for this one.